It is with great pleasure that the Canadian International Recruitment Team presents this video on the international hiring process at CGI. It was important for us that you had all the necessary information to guide you through the process leading to the obtention of your Canadian work permit. Congratulations to you on your career opportunity with CGI in Canada. This presentation is divided into 3 sections. Firstly, we will go through the contacts and resources who will assist you throughout the process. Secondly, we will explore the steps to the obtention of your work permit. And finally, we will look into the forms and documents you will have to complete as part of the process. Let's have a look at your contacts. First, the recruiter. The recruiter was your first CGI contact during the selection and recruitment processes. So this person is responsible for coordinating these processes. The recruiter remains at your disposal if you wish to obtain information on the condition of employment related to your CGI offer. Second, the coordinator. So once you accept the verbal offer made to you either by the leader or the recruiter, the coordinator will contact you and will become your main point of contact from then on. The coordinator is the person responsible for forwarding the first documents to be completed in order to start the process and for generating the formal offer letter. This person will be in contact with you throughout the process until your arrival. The coordinator will be able to guide you in your quest for information. CGI Immigration Team. CGI Immigration will be copied in all communications pertaining to your work permit application, but you will not have any contact directly with this team. CGI Immigration will make sure to validate all the information related to your file and will play an important role in the coordination of the process with our lawyers. Fragaman. Fragaman is an immigration law firm mandated by CGI to work on your work permit application. This firm will be your point of contact for any documents related to the process of obtaining your work permit approval. If you have any questions about forms issued to you by Fragaman, you will be able to reach out to them directly. All documents to be completed for the work permit applications are administered by them. And lastly, your leader. So your leader can answer your questions about CGI at any time, whether it be related to your role, the types of assignments you will likely be doing at CGI, your team, or the work environment. The leader is the person who will plan your onboarding and welcome you within the organization upon arrival. The steps to the work permit application process. So after you accept CGI verbal offer, you will have received a request for consent from your recruiter as well as a link to the MINS platform, our service provider, to complete your background check. The coordinator will have also sent you the first administrative documents to complete and sign in order to trigger the work permit process. The assessment step consists of a pre-analysis to understand the particularities of your immigration file in accordance with the composition of your family, your nationality, or other specificities, and the cost associated to your immigration file. The delay for the background check and the assessment is approximately 1 week, depending on your responsiveness to return the requested documents. The delay for the background check and the assessment is approximately 1 week, depending on your responsiveness to return the requested documents. Step 2. After the assessment is complete and satisfactory background check results are received, the coordinator will send you the formal offer letter approved by your recruiter and your leader for reading and signature. This step takes approximately 3 days. The offer letter will not contain a start date since obtaining the work permit is a precondition to you starting employment at CGI. An addendum indicating a start date will be sent to you once the work permit is obtained. Step 3. Shortly after your offer letter is signed, the coordinator will send you a communication prompting you to start the process of obtaining your diploma equivalency. The diploma equivalency, or educational credential assessment, is a condition of your employment at CGI. It will be important to start this process as early as possible, as the procedure can take 3-4 months in certain cases. We will talk about this process in more details later in this presentation. Step 4. Fragamen will contact you to collect the documents required to work on your LMIA application. Fragamen prepares the LMIA form and CQ form as well for candidates moving to the province of Quebec for you to review and sign. Fragamen will get in touch with you within a few days of signing the offer, but the time frame to build the LMIA file will vary depending on your family composition and how quickly you will be able to provide the requested documents. Once filed, LMIA approval normally takes 4 to 6 weeks. Your coordinator will forward you a list of the documents to prepare before Fragamen makes this first contact with you. Step 5. Once the LMIA is obtained, the work permit application can be submitted. Again, Fragamen will send you forms to complete and review and take care of the administrative procedures for this last step. Processing times associated to the obtention of the work permit vary greatly, depending on the country of origin. We are potentially seeing processing times between 4 to 32 weeks. Step 6. Once the coordinator receives confirmation of the approval of your work permit application, he or she will contact you and your leader in order to define a start date and discuss a travel date. Note that no start date will be confirmed before obtaining the result of your educational credential assessment. A start date can be determined months in advance of your arrival. We are aware that notice period can be of several months in some countries, and that moving to Canada also requires some good planning. At the time of obtaining your work permit, CGI will give you access to an online platform, Benevo, which will help you plan your arrival. The coordinator will also send you the addendum for signature confirming your start date at CGI, once agreed with your leader. Finally, a few days before your trip, Fragamen will send you a list of documents to print out to take with you to customs in order to obtain your work permit. And this is it. You'll be ready to start at CGI. What is important to remember about processing timelines is that they are very variable. Several factors can affect processing times, and these can be your speed in gathering the requested documents, some administrative delays as well, which could be caused by either the degree of complexity of your immigration file or governmental processing delays. Processing times depending on nationalities as well, which are subject to regular changes, and changes in your family circumstances, such as marriage or birth during the process, which will require revisiting the application. Throughout the process, you will have access to the Fragamen Connect platform to follow the progress of your application. Estimated times will be shared with you. Again, the dates that will be visible are very variable and may depend on the factors mentioned previously. We have witnessed work permit issued before the estimated date, but also several months after. It's important to remember that these dates are based on standard governmental processing times and are listed for information purposes only on Fragamen Connect. Throughout this process, please do not embark in any commitments, such as signing a lease for an apartment in Canada or make any changes to your working situation, such as resigning from your current employment, until a start date is confirmed with CGI. Remember, there is no guarantee that the work permit will be approved by governmental authorities or that it will be issued within the time frame indicated. In addition, it's possible that CGI may not be able to welcome you immediately upon reception of your work permit approval. A start date can be set in the months following the obtention of your work permit. CGI is conscious that a move to Canada can take several months to plan. Therefore, there should be no rush on your side in planning your move. We will wait for you without a hurry. This information will be repeated to you on several occasions during the process. The next section provides an overview of the documents you will need to complete throughout the process. To help you gather these documents at each stage, a checklist was provided to you at the same time as this video. It is important to complete the required information quickly throughout the process. If we do not hear back from you after a few reminders, we give ourselves the right to revisit the offer. We understand that personal changes may occur during the process and that you may have to withdraw from the process. If this is the case, we ask that you notify us promptly. In step 1, you are asked to complete the forms required directly on MIN's online platform and sign the consent form as seen in this presentation, which was sent to you by your recruiter. You could also be required to provide a police certificate for each country you lived in outside Canada for the past 7 years. MINS will advise you if this will be required. The work permit assessment form, as shown in this example, must be completed and signed. As a reminder, the offer is conditional to the pre-analysis of your immigration file and your background check. Therefore, these two forms are very important to start the process. Your offer letter. When the offer letter will be submitted by the coordinator, you will receive a message in your personal email asking you to review and sign your offer letter by clicking on the link to your Enjoin profile. To do so, enter your email address and password to connect to the CGI Enjoin platform and access your messages. The credentials to use will be the same as when you applied on a CGI position. Once logged in, you will be able to click on your offer letter, read it, and approve it. For any questions regarding the offer itself, you can communicate directly with your recruiter. For matters related to immigration, your coordinator will be the best person to support you. The Educational Credential Assessment. After the offer letter is signed, the coordinator will send you an email explaining how to proceed with the request for the Educational Credential Assessment for studies outside Canada. Why is the Educational Credential Assessment so important? Well, the diploma equivalency exercise makes it possible to compare the level of study completed abroad against the levels of study in Canada. It allows CGI to confirm that the level of study you achieved responds to the job requirements and, in addition, help us complete the background check process by attesting the validity of your diplomas. You will find this approach beneficial since you will frequently be asked for the results of the Educational Credential Assessment in the context of job searches in Canada or for other immigration processes. Diploma equivalencies are also required by the majority of the clients at CGI. It will help us position you on specific mandates. Note that the costs related to this request are assumed by the candidates. This document is your property. The process to obtain the documents can be long, so we suggest that you start as early as possible. You must provide the result of the assessment within 4 months of signing the offer letter. Obtaining the result of the Educational Credential Assessment is conditional on the definition of your start date at CGI. DLMIA preparation. Your immigration application will be sent to Fragamen by CGI to initiate the process of obtaining the LMIA. Fragamen will contact you by email a few days after receiving your file. We ask that you carefully read the email sent to you by Fragamen as you will find some important information. You will also receive a second email giving you access to the Connect Fragamen platform. This platform will allow you to upload the documents and forms requested by Fragamen and allow you to follow the progress of your application. Fragamen will prepare the LMIE documents for you and your dependents and will submit them to the government for processing. Prior to submission, you will be asked to review the content of the application. It is very important that you take the time to read and validate this information. Although Fragamen are experienced in this area, you know best your situation and remain the main signatory on the request. If you notice an error on your application, you must notify Fragamen. Once the LMIA is approved, Fragamen will notify you by email and the approval documents will be available for you on Connect. The submission of the work permit application. Fragamen will prepare the forms for your work permit application. Once again, it will be essential for you to validate the information contained in the application. Fragamen will tell you which forms to sign and validate. By that stage, Fragamen would have informed you to attend a medical exam for you and your dependents and submit police certificates for your spouse and you to complete the work permit request for submission. When your work permit will be approved, you will be notified by Fragamen. We invite you to validate the information on your work permit approval letter. We really find errors, but a misspelling could generate issues at that stage. Notify Fragamen promptly if you identify an error. They will guide you on the process to follow. Fantastic! You're ready to plan your arrival. But hold on. There are some additional steps to take. Even if your permits and visas are approved, it remains important at this stage not to make any commitments or make any changes to your current situation until your start date at CGI is confirmed. Note that the process of establishing a start date can take a few days. The candidate is always informed before its coordinator that the work permit is approved. When CGI Immigration will inform the coordinator your work permit is approved, he or she will contact you. In addition, the coordinator will communicate with your leader to plan your arrival. Once the start date is confirmed by CGI, the coordinator will send you the addendum for review and signature. You will be asked to log into your Enjoin profile again to consult the addendum, just as you did for the offer letter at the start of the process. You will then be ready to plan your move to Canada. To help you plan your installation in Canada, CGI will give you access to Benevo, an online platform that will be useful for your relocation. You will find information such as how to find an apartment, register children to schools, transportation options, and others useful information. When you will have identified a place to live in Canada, either temporarily or for the longer term, you will need to inform us by returning the completed member information form we will provide to you. CGI will then ensure that your IT material is forwarded to the right address and before your start date. As part of your assessment process and to complete your onboarding file, at that point we will need your most recent curriculum vitae. In addition, you will be asked to submit your CV in a specific CGI template for client assignment purposes. Before your travel date, Fragamen will send you a list of documents to prepare to claim your work permit at the Canadian border. Make sure you have all those documents with you to avoid surprises and be denied entry. Please ensure the work permit delivered at customs on the day of your travel holds the right information before leaving the agent's desk. Within the first week of your new life in Canada, you will be asked to take two important actions. The first one is to register to obtain your social insurance number. This number will be essential for you to work in Canada. And the second one is to register for the provincial health insurance, which will give you access to provincial medical coverage. Note that whilst you're waiting for the reception of your provincial health number, which normally takes approximately 3 months, you will be covered by CGI Additional Medical Coverage Plan when you start work. Therefore, before you start at CGI, please ensure that you take a private medical insurance coverage for you and your family. Your family will also have access to CGI Additional Medical Coverage, but only if they are in Canada when you start work with CGI. You're now in Canada, and we can't wait for you to start with us. You will receive your CGI onboarding package the week before your start. In this package, you will find useful information on your first week of employment. Your leader will welcome you in the organization, and all the CGI team will ensure that you feel at home. We are very much looking forward to working with you and welcoming you into the CGI family.